I can't even get out of my stand. I'm shaking too much. Woo! Oh, finally, it feels good. I'm gonna get out of this stand now, or I'm gonna try to slowly make my way back to my truck, and I drilled him. I know he's dead. More to come.
Double Down Outdoors is brought to you by Victory Archery, Raconico Outdoors, Tooth of the Arrow Broadheads, Bow Spider, Slayer Calls, Grizz Targets and Archery, Painted Arrow Outdoors, ADI Hunts, Scorpion Outdoors, and Extremist E-Bikes.
Alright guys, so what we're doing today is setting up one of my ladder stands at a spot that I have been dying to get permission on for the last several years. I used to hunt this spot with my dad when I was really young, and then land ownership changed, a lot of things happened, and I haven't been able to hunt this spot on my own since then. I've actually never hunted it alone, so this is pretty surreal for me to be back here and see all this after all of these years, because I know the quality of big bucks that reside in this quarter section of land. We're gonna get this stuff set up, and we'll check back in once that's done. Well, this is the not so fun way and not so safe way of hanging tree stands, ladder stands on your own. Okay, we're up. How are we looking down below? Let's hope this trusty dusty ratchet strap can fix this. Okay, now the wiggle and jiggle.
September 1st is opening day for most archery hunters here in north central Alberta.
The first thing on my hit list this year was elk, as usual, and it took me 36 days to get that done. So I wasn't able to do any whitetail hunting until after I got him out of the way. My Victory VAP SS Elite arrows and Tooth of the Arrow broadheads went to work and got the job done once again. After I was done elk hunting, it was time to get back into the woods and chase after some whitetails. I had 3 spots in particular that I wanted to sit for 3 different bucks. One of them being an absolute monster 5x5. The other one being a wider main beam, not as much mass 5x5. Or the third spot being an area that I called the swamp, where I knew there was some old funky bucks hanging out. So let's jump into whitetail hunting. Welcome to sit, full sit, number 1 for whitetails of 2024. I'm up at a spot that has a beautiful scrape line running underneath of it. I've hunted this spot for moose and for whitetails for years now. I'm very familiar with this area. This is the first time I've ever had a stand in this spot though. I started noticing this scrape line last year, and since I've been in here yesterday morning doing some scouting, figuring out where I was going to set a stand, a buck has come in and opened up new scrapes. So I don't know what buck it is. I have a feeling I know which one it is from last season. But he seems big. He seems mature. You look at the size of his hoof prints. This is a very mature buck. I'm hoping for all the best tonight. Got the wind on my face, blowing back towards the field. And we got nothing but bush in front of us with a whole lot of scrapes. Let's get it. It's not exactly the quietest, but it's the best way to get in here. So last night, all the does crossed in front of there at 30 yards. A couple of the bucks came up this trail down and below me, the 2 smaller ones. The other ones funneled around in the trees through here and worked their way into this timber to my left. The bigger guys, on the other hand, came up from in there where the cell camera is and worked their way down into here, coming into this little funnel here right below me in the timber. Obviously not ideal, but there's not really much else a guy can do. I don't want to put my stand anywhere else here because I mean, obviously I'm surrounded by trees, but this is by far the best shooting position I have for this little funnel here. I just gotta get them before they see me. So when I rattle, I'll rattle for anywhere from 30 seconds to 3 minutes at a time. And every 5-10 seconds, I'll take a little break, just a little quick little few second stop to see if I can hear anything coming into the rattles. And it breaks up the sound that way. It sounds a lot more realistic, as if they're tied up or they separate and then go back at each other. Thank goodness for my gloves. My hands were cold earlier. Solid up-and-comer buds. Just not what we're after. Took to those rattles. In under 10 minutes, they were on top of it fast. But they went back into the spruce, kind of where they came from. And they bumped. There's something walking behind me. Obviously, I couldn't turn around. I think there's a big guy not far.
things cool down for a bit. I know it wasn't me that bumped them. They had no idea I was here. So like I said, let things cool down a bit, and we're gonna rattle again. 5:45, I think. Okay, so I just got up in the stand. We are back at the swamp. It is really windy today. We just had light showers, and we had 2 good bucks on camera today. One of them was that ancient relic of an old whitetail buck that was here a few days ago when we had our first snowfall. He was here no more than half an hour ago. Luckily, this spot is really close to home, so I scooted out here, got up in the stand, and I'm hoping that we are gonna be in position to kill tonight. Gonna kick things off with some light rattling, maybe a little bit of light grunting, I'm not sure yet. I don't want to push him too hard, but he was over at the scrapes on the edge of the swamp, about 100 yards from where I'm sitting right now. I really want to kill this deer. He'll be the oldest buck I've ever harvested. He's in there somewhere. He's gotta be. I love hunting whitetails this time of year because they're usually reactive to rattles and the odd grunt, and they're not cruising all over the country. You can still bank on them being in one area. But I mean, they're throwing me for a loop. The rut is obviously on its way, and it's on its way fast. They're moving at all hours of the day. We've had some really funky weather. Thank you, God. Thank you. I held that draw for so long. I was shaking by the end of it. And he came in right in front of me. He scraped, made his way out. I was literally filming, just talking, and then I could hear he came in. I was 30 seconds away from rattling again, and he came in right where I wanted him to. Oh, that's a nice deer. Doesn't get any more pitch perfect than that. He stopped, he hung up, and he was looking straight at me. He was gonna bust if I didn't shoot him right then and there. Obviously, frontal shots are not ideal, but I was just playing back the video on the camera, and I can see where the fletching went in, down. That deer's dead. That deer's deader than dead.
All right, well, here I am with my 2024 Alberta archery whitetail buck, and this one's been a long time coming. The last time I stuck an arrow in a whitetail buck was 2020 when I took down my first velvet whitetail, and since then it has been a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of missed opportunities, and a heck of a lot of grind. So I just can't describe to you how good this feels to not only come off of an absolutely electric season, the best season I've ever had of hunting, and to have it end with something as magnificent and respectable as a buck like this that has clearly lived a full and long life that, man, I would have loved to know the story of. But no, this is a great buck, and I'm so happy that it ended up working out at this stand. I only stabbed this stand up a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago now. As soon as I got the cell camera on it, I knew I was onto something here. We had mature bucks strolling through, small bucks, and two smaller bucks that I did rattle in are quite frequent here. But once I got back in, it was about 3 days ago now, I got back and I was like, well, there must be a scrape line in here somewhere. And sure as heck, about 114 yards north of where my tree stand was, I walked back right to the edge of the swamp, and I found all these small little scrapes. Nothing really communal, but all these small little scrapes on low-hanging branches, spruce trees, stuff like that. And I set up a cell camera there. Sure as heck, yesterday, this guy pops up on cam around 3 o'clock, I think it was. And I texted my buddy Riley. I said, man, I'm gonna go kill this thing. That's the old boy. You can see where a bullet may have hit and went through that leg and then went through his leg on the other side. So this buck has obviously seen history with hunters before. Nonetheless, these old swamp bucks are relentlessly tough. He only ended up making it about 60 yards from where I hit him. All in all, it has been an absolutely incredible 2024 hunting season right from the beginning. 3 black bears, 2 turkeys, 2 razorback wild boars, just coming off of killing a monster bull elk, and now being able to close out my year with an absolute legend of the swamp. Can't wait to see what the rest of the year has in store, but now the real work begins. Around here, we're always doubled down.